In this next video, we'll discuss some of the characteristics and special properties of hormones. It is important to define the terms hydrophilic, hydrophobic, and lipophilic, lipophobic. It's simplest if you remember that a phobia is a fear of something, that hydro refers to water, and lipo refers to fats. So taking apart the word hydrophobic, for example, means that you have a fear of water, literally. However, the better definition is to state that the hydrophobic substance does not mix with water. It should not be surprising then to discuss hormones as those that dissolve easily in blood plasma, the hydrophilic hormones, and those that do not. The plasma of your blood is about 90% water. Lastly, please recall that a cell's membrane is a phospholipid bilayer that will impact which hormones pass easily and which will require a transmembrane receptor for binding to occur. So let's start with the hormone category that does not mix well in water. Those are the hydrophobic hormones. They are frequently called lipophilic because they will easily combine with or dissolve in fats. These hormones are made from cholesterol, a very important molecule in the body. They repel water, or as already mentioned, will not combine with water. However, because these hormones are lipids, they will easily pass through the cell membrane, that phospholipid bilayer. Once the hormones enters the cell, it is able to bind to an intercellular receptor or intracellular receptor. This message then either activates or represses gene transcription. This slide contains information about the other hormone group, the hydrophilic ones. For starters, these are made from proteins and polypeptides. These hormones will mix well with water found in blood plasma. However, they will not be able to pass through the phospholipid bilayer, the cell membrane. This category of hormones requires there to be a membrane-bound receptor present. Remember, hydrophobic hormone receptors were found inside the target cell. These receptors work by using the second messenger system. You may remember this messaging system from Bio 201 when discussing norepinephrine in the sympathetic nervous system. Examples of hydrophilic hormones are all the releasing and inhibiting hormones produced by the hypothalamus, oxytocin, antidiuretic hormone, and most hormones produced by the adenohypophysis. Now let's see how these hormones are transported in the blood because, as already discussed, endocrine glands release their hormones into the bloodstream to be transported and used elsewhere in the body. So what you see here is that the peptide proteins mix easily with blood plasma. Therefore, they do not need a carrier protein to carry them through the bloodstream. However, these hormones do not break down quickly relative to other hormones. Actually, they do break down quickly relative to other hormones. So hydrophobic hormones, on the other hand, cannot dissolve in blood plasma, so they must bind to a transport protein to be carried in the bloodstream. We can break this down a bit further. The body is not able to access a bound hormone. The bound hormones extend the life of these hormones because they are protected from being broken down by the liver and kidneys as they circulate. Only unbound hormones can be used by the body. There are specific messengers that signal the transport of these hormones to their target cells. Examples of hydrophobic hormones are steroid hormones and the thyroid hormone. This slide repeats some information I've already stated, but I want to point out that a target cell will have thousands of receptors for a given hormone. The next two slides include an illustration of what I've discussed in the video so far. This first picture shows a secreting cell from an endocrine gland. The purple dot represents the hormone that entered the bloodstream and can travel freely because of its ability to dissolve in plasma. The first cell, the green cell, does not possess the proper receptor type to bind the hormone. However, the blue target cell does, and this is where the hormone leaves the blood into the interstitium, the space between the blood vessel and the target cell, and binds to a membrane-bound receptor. In this slide, you see the yellow endocrine cell releasing its hormone, which is a steroid or thyroid hormone in this case. Once the hormone enters the bloodstream, it binds to a carrier protein. Think of the carrier protein as a coat that will allow the lipid-based molecule to travel through the liquid component of the blood. The yellow triangles are representing the carrier proteins. Here too, the green cell does not possess the appropriate receptor. However, further down the line, the blue cell contains the appropriate intracellular receptor specific to this hormone. Hormones, just like you learned about neurotransmitters in the nervous system, are deactivated once their mission is accomplished. As the hormones circulate through the body, there are two organs, the liver and the kidney, that are responsible for the breakdown of the hormone, and the kidneys are particularly involved in their excretion from the body through urine. How quickly the rate at which a hormone is cleared from the body is called the metabolic clearance rate. The time required for half of the hormone to be cleared from the body is its half-life. If a hormone has a faster metabolic rate, it also has a shorter half-life. Thyroxine, one of the thyroid hormones, is bound, so it takes longer to clear the body as it has a longer half-life than any of the releasing or inhibiting hormones and hormones produced by the adenohypophysis, which are all unbound.